Okay, so we are live here, and it's the next to last weekend before the Endless Engines Challenge is completed. And as you can see, working on my car. Now I'm trying to get the windows right, and I don't know. Let me show you. Well, I got the front window doesn't look too terrible. Trying to work on the back window. You can see I have new doors. I got lights. I still have to work on the back, but made a fair amount of progress this weekend, and this is pretty much it. Let me show you something else that I did this weekend. Let me show you what the car actually looks like in a scene. So hopefully you can see that. Now that's better. You can see the entire car and what it looks like. Let me make it bigger so you can see it. You can see the window. I'm still trying to get that straight. But you can see, go back here and make it bigger and move it up so you can see. Now the reason I went with this background here is because the it gives me a better idea of how lighting might look. And it's still some of the lumps are, I think, back, but too bad. I think the hood looks pretty good. This is not going to be a perfect car. This is the first time I ever did anything like this, so I am not John Dickinson or the gentleman who actually was the instructor in that course. So I'm not going to get that, but I really wanted to do this and I learned a lot. The most important thing that I learned, let me move this out of the way so I can actually, is topology. Now I'm going to turn off subdivision surface. And you can see most of my topology is fairly is quads. Now this could be cleaned up a little bit here. There's something a little funny going on down there. And what happens is even something weird going here that I just noticed. So what you got to do in that case is try to straighten it out. And one of the big things that I found is one of the most useful things is the weld, because when you're putting stuff together, and you can see it fixes it, you tend to get points at different layers, at different levels, and it kind of gets things a little messed up. And you can see, if you get close, so we're not going to be that close. It's not that, I don't know if they'll even be able to, you can see here we got like a little, got these, and ideally what I may want to do is stretch go to this window here, which I call front window, and you turn bowl off. What I could do is, what? Got to get back to here. What I can do is select these points, and let me control, and that's going to get rid of these, and just pull this down, maybe this one too. For some reason this one was not selected. This one isn't working quite as well as I would have hoped, so we're gonna zoom in here and try to make this a little bit so I get that little pointy thing. I'm going to have to play with this because this isn't quite what I want. To get it to how I want to actually make it to look. So we're going to have to work on this, but this is part of when you get done at this point. It looks a bit, as I turn on subdivision surfaces, and you can see this point is still little. Bring that back a little bit. So that's my front window. And the back window I'm still working on. And these are lined up. So probably the problem here is, now we go back to our plane here. So this needs to come up, and you're going to have to probably do each of these individually. So what I'm doing is trying to get this and raise these up a little bit and raise these up, because this has that specific shape that you're trying to do, and you're basically going to have these points pretty much on top of each other. I mean, there's just no way around it when you're coming to a point. So, see what it looks like. Okay, now these points here probably need to see what we got going on here. Yeah, these, now here's we got a problem. Gotta get real close. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to get this back down and get these in line so that so we'll be able to see them, but they're going to be, see. So what I need to do is line these up, and it looks like I got a problem here as well with maybe, no, yes, no, maybe. Yeah, I think these can go in a little bit, the ones on top of here. So I need to basically line these up. And actually, it doesn't look too bad. The front window. This back window is going to be a little difficult I have to get that together. Anyway, so you get the idea of what this involves in trying to, you're pushing points, but you're trying to keep the good topology. You're trying to keep squares. Because what happens is if you have something fishy and then you do a subdivision, you get a mess, is what you get. And you can see even this down here is not perfect. So I may do some more smoothing on here. So we got 1 week to go, and gotta stop moving this thing so much. The Space Mouse is great, but the problem with it is sometimes it's a little too sensitive. So what have we gotten from today? Um, well, we're coming to the end. I have something that's starting to look somewhat like what I want. I made some ti some tires. Let's see. I think I may have closed it. Made some tires. So I have something that is going to be just not a plain black thing. The next thing I have to do once I get the car somewhat how I want it is I have to put it in some kind of environment and animation. And let me remind you one other thing. They when he did his stream this week, this is the animation here. So let me see if I can show you this. Where did my animation thing go? Okay, let's go to standard. That's the problem. Go back, and you can see what the general idea of what. So it comes in, and not people were keeping it, were actually keeping the camera um, were seemed to be having the thing move along with the camera. But this, you can see he did a very simple box car and wheels. And he doesn't even have the wheels turning, which of course is what we're going to need. You want it to look like it's actually driving. Um, and again, I can't touch the camera angle. So that's why he did it this way. And he discusses that again on the Discord. So now the question is an environment. I'm not sure. I think there are two places a Ferrari belongs, either on a racetrack, so you can do that sort of environment, or perhaps, some winding road where they can just, feel the maneuverability and the speed and all this. But I think a racetrack may be a little easier. So we'll see. I'm just going to find some, that's kind of the least of my worries right now. The main thing is getting the car to look the way I want, and then I could worry about the glory of, an environment and so forth. The main thing I'm concerned about is keeping kind of somewhat the same view for all the entrants, because he does a puts them all together and one right after the other. So if someone had that card at one view and someone had a totally different view, it would not look good. It would not flow. And that's how he did movie meditations as well. Basically, here's the camera, um, and point the camera at the thing, and that's what you're supposed to do. You can't, you know, have your main character in all different places and move the camera around. So this way you get a consistent view. Anyway, I think that's going to be all for right now. We've been doing this for 40 minutes. My plan is to, in fact, edit this down to something a little gets all the nonsense out. Um, just to make the point, your topology has got to be good, or you will get a mess. And you can see this one was considerably more a mess. Well, actually, this one is not that old. To show you one, let's go for one from like this one, like from, and you can see, actually, this looks like it was after I smoothed it. So I had no doors, no windows, no, I did put this back. I did put the hood in. So it was actually not in bad shape, except for, actually, even this is in good shape. But I didn't have this in the correct shape in the back. So once you start messing with doors and windows and headlights and things like that, it's a bit more of a challenge. And like I say, there are a couple of ways to do this. The doors, I basically move the points around to get a door shape, and then did kind of a cutout. And, kind of extruded the original lower and then stuck this on top. But I wanted it to be obvious that it was a door. And, it's still not, the topology is probably going to need a little smoothing. I may do another smoothing run over the thing before I turn it in, because it's still kind of rough. But anyway, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please ask. Again, I'm not an expert. This is my first attempt at doing a model anywhere near this complex. I did do some modeling in the first beginner's cinema class, but it was relatively simple. And the main thing I learned there is if you stick something in square in a subdivision or a rectangle, it's going to, and you don't have enough lines, it's going to turn into a blob. And adding the cuts back will make it work, make it look more like it's supposed to. So anyway, again, any questions? If you've enjoyed this or found it interesting or useful, then please, subscribe and like and all that, so that if you subscribe, then you'll know when I go live or when I put out a new video, if you like the content. So anyway, thank you, and I will speak to you next time. Take care.